Welcome to Behind the Barnwood. This is a podcast where we take you behind the scenes of Prairie Barnwood, where we talk about our craftsmanship, connection, and running a family business. I'm here with Blayne. My name's Natalya, and today we're diving into the craftsmanship behind all of our pieces.
All of our pieces?
Every single last one of them.
This is supposed to be like 15 minutes.
No, not all of our pieces, just in general. You're so funny. So stressed, you're like, wait, that's like 500 things.
Hold on. Yeah.
Not all of our pieces. I think it was in the last episode, episode 3 of our podcast.
Okay.
We just briefly touched on the inspiration behind our craftsmanship.
We brushed past it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you mentioned some artists, craftsmen that inspire some of the designs.
Yeah.
And that was really unique for me to hear because I've never really heard where it even came from.
George Nakashima was another one that I was trying to think of.
Yeah. I think you referenced him but wasn't quite
I
sure.
knew his name was George.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. Mm-hmm. He's an American. Well, I think he's of Japanese descent, but he's American architect and furniture designer.
Okay.
Outstanding pieces. Yeah.
Where exactly did you find all of these?
Where did I find George?
Yeah.
My friend Wes.
Oh, really?
Introduced me to George's styles and designs and stuff like that. Yeah. My friend Wes is a designer. We did a few projects together. We're good friends for years, and he introduced me to George.
That's cool.
Not personally.
Yeah.
I don't even think George is alive. George Nakashima.
Really?
Is alive, but I don't really know. So he just introduced me to his work and styles. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Frank Lloyd Wright would have been my dad. Introduced me to his styles. Mid-century modern. We live in a mid-century modern-ish house.
Yeah.
There's some areas in Winnipeg and been to Palm Springs, lots of mid-century modern homes there. Mm-hmm. And just always loved the design, loved the styles. Yeah. Mission style, Mission and Stickley would have been probably through the auctions that my dad introduced me to. So that's kind of where I got onto those designs and styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you think of any specific pieces that we have in our standard collection today that were inspired by any of those people?
People or their styles?
Or their work.
I'd say all of our pieces actually have a little flavor of them. George Nakashima is one that I've been following lately, and I'd love to build more pieces kind of in his flavor and style. Same with Frank Lloyd Wright. There's actually a couple of dining table bases that I'm working on right now that are more of a Frank Lloyd Wright style. We did a Frank Lloyd Wright dining base with a live edge table for a customer in Winnipeg years ago. And we're going to be building a very similar base to that now. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The very first chair that we built, that was quite funny because I started building furniture and I had never built a chair before. And I got my first order to build a dining set, and I stuttered over myself to even know how to take the order. And so I had to call the person back, and I was like, yeah, okay, so sure, we'd build you a table and chairs and a buffet and a hutch. And so I go to the shop to my one worker at the time, Nathan, and I said, Nathan, I just got an order for a dining table, chairs, and a buffet and a hutch. And he looks at me, he's like, how do we build a chair? I was like, I actually don't know, but we'll figure this out. And so I talked to a good friend of mine that's a carpenter, like a craftsman carpenter. Robert is his name. I chatted with him. He gave me some templates and stuff like that. He was kind of telling me how to build it. I'd refinished and repaired and restored chairs from the 20s. So I knew that they all have a dowel joinery to them. I knew that was the style I wanted to do for joinery. And so I came home and I was sitting at my dining set at the time. This would have been in like 2010. Sitting at the dining set, and we had gotten, Tara and I had gotten a dining table and 6 chairs from my grandparents when they moved from their house to kind of their house before they retired. So it was a lot smaller. They couldn't handle that dining set in their new house. So I think we bought it from them for $500 or something. Drove to Edmonton, got it, came back, set it up. So now I'm sitting in our dining room, 2010, sold this order, needed to build a chair, didn't really know how to do it. I'm sitting at this mission-style dining room set from my grandparents. Looking, I'm like, I actually really like this chair. And so the next morning, I took a chair to work, took it all apart, used it as a template, and to this day, our dining chairs are templated from my grandpa's mission-style dining set.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I use the framework and design and style, and yeah, kind of use that as framework and put our own little flair on it, but that's where our chairs kind of originated from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
You mentioned joinery.
Yes.
And that's something that we've said on our website and in like descriptions and stuff. What does that mean? Or what does that look like in our furniture?
The joinery.
Yeah.
So what joinery do we use most often, or explaining different joints?
I guess like when we say like dowel construction or
here's a dad joke, because all I'm thinking is my knee joint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not the same. Nice try.
I made my own eyes roll.
Oh no. I guess it was a broad question, but yeah, where in our furniture can you find the 100-year-old joinery?
Yeah, so our dining chairs are all built from what I learned from refinishing chairs from 1920s. There's 2 dowels in every joint that actually go, so if like this is the leg, this is like the skirt or whatever, it actually goes in through the leg into the skirt like a timber frame building. I exposed the dowels because I just like the look of that. In the 1920s, the dowels were inserted between the pieces of wood so you didn't see the dowels. But it's just a little piece of wood, 3/8 of an inch in diameter, 3 inches long. We glue the chair together. Once it's glued together, we drill the holes, blow them out, put glue in, almost like a muzzle-loaded gun where you put your glue in, and there's this little dowel we have with a rag on the end. You go in and move all the glue around, and then you hand tap in every dowel. And so a lot of companies, what I've seen they do is they take and put a screw in, and then they put a little dowel cap on the end of it. So it gives the illusion of a dowel, but it's not a dowel, it's a screw. And what happens over time is when you introduce metal into wood, wood will always shrink and expand. Metal won't as much. And so when you put a screw into wood, what happens is if you've ever leaned on your chair and they squeak like this, that's because the joint is loose. But lots of times if you put a screw in, as the chair shrinks and expands, that screw will loosen up over time. And when you use a wooden dowel in a wooden chair, it's all shrinking and expanding at the same rates. So it's not going to loosen up over time. If it ever does, you just simply bang it apart with a rubber hammer, put some glue in there, put it back together, and clamp it, and your chair's as good as new.
Easy fix.
Easy fix. Easy peasy. Yeah. Yeah, easy fix. Our dining tables, so we have the Fairmont and the Jasper style tables. Those have a nice pedestal leg, and the wood in the leg goes through the wood. The center bar goes through the leg. Then there's 2 pins that lock that in. So it's the same way as a timber frame building is built, where it's a timber frame joinery and it's locked in, and that's basically, like, for me, it was inspired from a Japanese style furniture where they have the pins going through, and I just like that style. So I kind of adapted that into our joinery, so the pieces almost shim together. When you take those pins out, the leg comes out, the center bar comes out, and they come apart. Our Surus bar stools are all held together with 7/8" dowels. Even the seat is doweled into the legs, and the legs with the support bars are doweled in together and glued. Our Ainsworth dining table, it's that beautiful table with the center pedestal, and you have all these little boards coming off on angles. I wanted to say Hornsby, but we've renamed that table
To Merit.
to Merit. The Merit style table is the same, where it's a pedestal with the angled legs. You can see little 7/8" or 1" dowels on there. Those dowels are actually drilled into the legs. So those are about 3 or 4 inches long. And again, boards are put on an angle, it's drilled out, glue, tap it in. And so, yeah, just the longevity of the piece. It's not held together with screws and brackets and metal and stuff. It's actually held together with wood. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Some of those joints I had learnt when we dismantled barns. And I could see the rigidity and stability in how that barn was built. And it was like, hey, I want my furniture to last a long time. So we adapted some of these techniques into our furniture. So, yeah. And then our dining tables. If you get a dining table with a breadboard end, so that's a nice plank style with a board that goes on the end across, like, opposite direction, or like a border on the end of the table.
Yeah.
So that board is only, that one is pocket screwed from underneath. And the reason we do that is because when you glue boards together, they become one, and in that meaning is they shrink and expand at the same rate together as one. So your dining table is like 40 inches wide, 8 feet long. That whole slab is moving together. If there's anything holding that slab from moving, it's going to find the weakest point, and that's where it cracks. And so what you want to do when you're building a dining table is you want to build it in a way that that table can move depending on the climate and the season. When you put that breadboard end on it, if it's glued to the table, it will keep your table from shrinking and expanding, and it'll crack. So you have to figure out a way to put that trim board on. I like the trim board because it keeps the table more rigid. So that breadboard end is held in with a tenon. So it's held in with little ribs that go into the tabletop. We bore those holes out so it has room to move, and then we pocket screw them into the table. So that allows the table to move, but also keeps that breadboard end rigid on the dining table. So, yeah, I guess a little bit of engineering goes into these pieces.
Just a little bit.
So when somebody says, holy smokes, why is your dining table so expensive? It's because there's a whole lot of mistakes that have taken place for us to get to the place where it's a dining table that's actually going to last.
Right.
I don't know whether you should put that in there, but...
Well, I guess you could say it more that the quality of our pieces is so hard to find. And I was going to ask you, was there ever a point when you were going through this business that you wanted to transition? Not completely quit, but like most companies use other materials. It's not often all solid wood. It's not like every dowel hand tapped into a piece of furniture. It becomes like just kind of another number of a piece, and it just, a hamster wheel.
It's actually kind of funny because online I've seen this commercial from Inland Furniture out of Winnipeg, and they build solid wood furniture as well. And his commercial or ad on Facebook says, "Are you sick and tired of furniture that you can only move once?" And it caught my eye because I think that's a very similar value proposition to what we have. Is solid wood furniture is hard to build with because it's living, but the longevity of it far outweighs the easy way of building things. I think there's a great time and place to buy furniture that comes in a box and you put together with an Allen key and it fits that one spot, it serves a purpose, it was just kind of a piece of furniture that was needed. But I think there's a real time and place where spending or investing a large amount of money into that piece of furniture that lots of memories are going to be built around, that quality needs to be put to it. Mm-hmm. And so yes, to answer your question, there's been lots of thought around how do I build this in an easier way. And I think it goes back to the whole thing, we're wood workers. Mm-hmm. We work with wood. Mm-hmm. And wood is moving all the time. So you have to be adaptable. They should call it wood practicing because it's like, I don't know, sometimes things happen with tables and a customer wants an answer as to why did it do this. I have no idea why, but we'll fix it. Mm-hmm. There's been lots of thoughts about how do I build this out of particle board with an Allen key, but I just can't bring myself to going there.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so unique about the direction we chose too.
Yeah.
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 And even because it's family owned between like myself, you, and Tara. Yeah. That's not at all who we are as people either.
Right. You mean we chose the hard way?
Yeah, I guess, but it's just like I guess we're very methodical, very like relaxed, very I guess focused people. So it's just kind of funny how that bleeds out into the business. Yeah. More so from yourself and Tara's part in the business. Yeah, because
you have a little part of it, right?
I don't know. Can't take credit.
You only tell the story on all of our social media and websites, and yeah.
Yeah, just a teeny part.
Just a teeny part, yeah.
Yeah.
It bleeds out of all of us.
Yeah.
Even the workers, I see it the same. I guess that's where it's, you as a business, you have a mission and a vision. Whether you put it on the wall or not, it becomes the culture of who you are in your business. And I think that's why with our furniture and stuff, yes, we build furniture or we build ceiling beams or whatever, but it's more like, do you want to be a part of the culture of what we're building at Prairie Barnwood? Mm-hmm. More so than like, do you want a table? I grew up in a family business with my folks and even with my grandpa. I remember his warranty policy, like he used to make these nylon tow ropes for the oil field and farming out in Alberta. Mm-hmm. And his warranty policy was hilarious. It was really intense. If you break it, we'll replace it. And I think he had like maybe 2% of the ropes he sold come back on warranty. And lots of times they were cut by bumpers and stuff like this. So it wasn't even a legit warranty. Mm-hmm. But he was like, hey, it's no problem. And he'd just give the guy a new tow rope. Mm-hmm. And I think that has, like, it's a culture. It's a thinking. It's who we are. That, yes, we have a written warranty, but if I'm going to see you at Superstore or I mean, lots of customers live in different provinces or countries, so I'm not probably going to see them at Superstore, but it's a small town business and it's a family business. And I think what that means is if you need help, call us. Like if your table cracks or whatever, call us. Mm-hmm. We'll fix it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You mentioned it before, so I assume you remember, but do you remember your first ever sale?
Oh, yes. I don't know if I want to mention it because I don't know if they knew that they were my first sale. So hopefully they're okay with this. But yeah, it was, would have been the spring of 2010. With furniture, was my first dining set order. And it was to a small town just on the border of Alberta and Saskatchewan. Ironically enough, it was actually the town that my grandma was born in.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, they called and wanted to place an order. And I had to act like I was busy because I was so stunned with what to do next.
Yeah.
That I took their name and number, hung up the phone, had a drink of water, caught my breath, and then called them back and took their order. It was a dining table with leaves, buffet and hutch, and 6 chairs. And I think there was a bench. Then they were like, "How do we get you your deposit?" And I didn't know. So they just put a check in the mail. A week later, I got the check, and we started building their dining set. Built it. I think it was probably 4 or 6 weeks later. We were ready to deliver it. I didn't have any sort of trucking company set up, no strategy as to how to deliver this. So I had a truck. I called up a friend to borrow his cargo trailer, and he borrowed me his cargo trailer. So I'm going to drive this thing from Manitoba to Alberta. And I had another friend, his name's Eric, called me, and he had said, "Hey, I hear you're going out to Alberta with this dining set." He said, "Can I come with you? And I'll help you." So I was like, "Sure, that'd be great. Have some company." And so as we're leaving, like, this is totally not his industry. He's used to sitting behind a desk with a suit on. And so we're driving away, and I was like, "Eric, why do you want to come with me?" Like, I appreciate it, but why do you want to come with me? And he's like, anytime I hear that you go away and deliver stuff, you always come home with a story. He says, I wanna experience this. I'm like, all right. So we left. My friend John, who lent me the trailer, says to me, "The paint is really brittle, so don't drive down any gravel roads because it'll chip the paint on the front of the trailer." I'm like, okay, no gravel roads. I'll be careful. We're good. So Eric and I drive away, and we get to, I don't know, we're just outside of Regina, and it's getting really, really windy. And get to Regina, and we turn north. And as we get out of town, there's the camper of a truck blown over, sitting in the ditch. Eric, he's driving, and he's looking at me like, "What do you think?" And I said, "That's pretty wild." Like, let's just keep going. So we get out of town, and a car rolled over on its side because of the wind. And he's looking at me like, "I think we should stop." And I said, "Nah, you're fine. Just go slow, and we'll be fine." So we were maybe 20 minutes outside of Regina, and we came over a hill and went around a corner, and our trailer rolled over behind the truck. The trailer just went up on one wheel and fell on its side.
Oh my goodness.
And so we're jackknifed in the middle of the highway, and the trailer's on its side, and Eric's like, what do we do? I don't know what to do. All I can think about is John, who lent me his trailer, said, "Don't drive on gravel." And here I have his trailer on its side.
Yeah.
So Eric takes and drives down into the middle of the ditch. And as he's doing that, I'm like, "Oh, God, stand this trailer up." And legitimately, as we went over the hump of the road, the trailer just stood right back up on its wheels. And we drove into the ditch and got out. And the trailer's now sitting upright. The hitch is hooked up. The chains are hooked up. Everything's fine.
My goodness.
We go out, and there's a big hole in the front of the trailer, and a tire popped. So we unhooked the trailer, drove to a town, got a tire, came back, changed the tire on the trailer, towed it to a town, and stopped, and did what Eric said we should stop. Chilled out for a while, took the dining set out, and the only thing that happened was the arms on the armchairs. One arm broke. That was it. The glass in the china cabinet was still fine.
Oh my goodness.
Everything was fine. So we spent a couple hours there in this little town, just chilling out until the wind died down. And then at nighttime, we started driving again. So as we're driving, you can hear this clunking on the trailer. And so I pulled over, and we checked it out. I don't know if you have seen the back of a trailer hitch or not, but there's the ball. Then there's that square part that goes into the back side of the vehicle. Then there's a pin that goes through there to hold the hitch into the vehicle.
Yeah.
What was clunking is that pin fell out, and the trailer hitch was just like friction
just bobbing up and
just
down.
bobbing up and down, like we were about to lose our trailer. Oh my goodness. So we pull over, and now that pin is gone. I'm like, what do we do now? And I look in the box of the truck, and there's like a bolt that's the perfect size.
No way.
I know. I pulled it out, put it in, tighten it up. Okay, let's go. So we drove off again. So we got to the customer's house in the morning, and they had no idea
Right.
what had all taken place getting this dining set there. I just said there was a little bit of shipping issue, and I'll have to take these chairs back and just mail them to you kind of thing once I fix the 2 armchairs. And so they were thrilled. We set it up. Everything was great, and we drove away, and we hit the wind again. And so we pulled over and found some railroad ties and put them on that side of the trailer and drove home. So we got home, and I said to Eric, so should I call you the next time I have a trip? And he's like, never call me again. I don't ever want to go on a trip with you again. So I guess he had his fill of adventures.
Funny.
So now whenever I drive past that area, I always take a picture, and later when I stop, I send it to Eric and say, I'm just thinking of you, buddy. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that was my first dining set.
My goodness.
Yeah. And since then, they've ordered more stuff, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever told them about the delivery?
Never.
Well, you heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Yeah.
If that's you, leave a comment below.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, good times.
Yeah. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you loved today's conversation, we want to hear from you. Leave us a comment, send us a message, like this video for more to come, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.